What's up, guys? It's me again, Christian Rodriguez, and today I wanted to make it a bit of a quick video, and I wanted to talk about having a fixed mindset, right? Because there's something I notice, right? I hear things don't if you're not good at sales, for example, right? You're not good at sales, you'll never be good at it, right? It's not for everyone. And to an extent, I agree with that, but when people say it, I know what they mean by that. They don't mean that it's not for everyone because not everyone's willing to do it. What they usually mean by that is, they naturally don't have it, so it is what it is. Now in sports, maybe that's the case. Like if you're looking to become an NFL player, right? You have a very small time frame window. So maybe that is the case when it comes to like becoming a quarterback in the NFL, right? That's not for everyone. Even a lot of good high school. I'm sorry for anyone who's from another country. I'm sorry if you guys are confused, but this is just the best way I can explain it. But yeah, if you're a high school, you were really good in high school as a quarterback, maybe even in college, you get to the NFL and you become a wide receiver because you're better at that. So maybe they do have a good argument with that. But what I say with it is what I think most people do. I guess I don't have my notes for today, but what most people do is they say that, you won't be good at sales ever, right? Like it's not for everyone, or you're not meant to be a salesperson, right? And that's a fixed mindset in disguise. And I've also heard, no offense, I'm not going to say his name, but even someone who's big on YouTube has said it, and I wasn't the biggest fan of him saying that. I didn't exactly agree with him saying that. Like a lot of stuff he talks about is stuff I agree with, but that was one thing I did not agree with, because I don't think that there's nothing that you can't learn, right? Nothing. I truly believe anything you do, you can learn it. You can, like, sure, for someone else it may be easier than others. Like that person who's very naturally good at sales, you don't know. Maybe when at 20, at 21, they were really good at sales, but you probably didn't see how they grew up as a kid. They probably enjoyed public speaking, right? In school, they probably enjoyed going in front of the classroom, presenting in front of the entire class. They probably had restaurant jobs as a kid, and they were constantly negotiating and talking and upselling and, bringing up the bill and with customers. They probably understood persuasion, right? Someone like me, I hated all of that stuff. I never did any of that stuff. So when it came with me in sales, I struggled with it. I had a big learning curve with it, right? Even now, I'm still overcoming a learning curve with it, but it's because I'm still, obviously I have to keep doing sales. But it's one of those things that you have to build it like a muscle, right? I didn't come from a genetically gifted family. Like you guys may see me and be like, oh, this guy's in very good shape. His parents must be athletes. No, they're not. They're the complete opposite. Remember growing up and almost everyone in my family was out of shape. Just about everyone was out of shape, pretty fat. Never really grew muscle. They never built muscle. So you could argue. I could have argued and said, "Oh well, my genetics tell me that I don't need to learn martial arts, or I don't really need to lift weights because my body doesn't tell me. You see, my genetics don't allow me to do that." That's just a fixed mindset. If I had that, then I probably wouldn't be where I am today when it comes to fitness and in shape and even combat sports. But because I ignored that and I kept going day after day, going to the gym and training, I was able to build a physique for myself. I've been doing this for close to 11, 12 years consistently. Maybe I've been doing different variations of it, like been doing body weight, combat sports, lifting weights. You know, like I'll alternate in different seasons, different time periods. But I always I always stuck to like physical activity for the past 11, 12 years. And that's not really by accident. It's because I focused on the inputs. And sure, maybe in the beginning it was more of a struggle for me, right? You could technically say that I have an advantage because I learned Spanish as a kid. Like, I'm fluent in Spanish, right? Of course, like I grew up speaking Spanish at home with my mother. I have my parents are from the Dominican Republic, so of course I grew up speaking Spanish, and I also grew up speaking English because I grew up in New York. But there's people out there who would say, oh, like, my tongue is not really meant to learn another language, right? And that's the thing. It's all bullshit. That's all limiting beliefs. That's all stopping you. That's stopping you from reaching your full potential, right? Like having a fixed mindset like that. Because maybe it's easier for me because I learned Spanish effortlessly. It wasn't effortlessly, but I learned it because it was part of my life, right? Growing up as a kid. But someone else who only grew up speaking English, they're probably gonna have to work harder for it. Because they don't have that environment that I had. They didn't have access to that. They don't have family that only speaks Spanish and you had to visit them in the Dominican Republic or a Spanish-speaking country like I had. So of course it's going to be harder, right? But that's the thing. That's why I preach you need to have a growth mindset, right? In business and everything you do in life, you need a growth mindset because there will be learning curves. There will be processes. There will be shit you'll have to go through. There will be stuff you will suck at completely. There will be stuff that you will question yourself and be like, why am I doing this? Why am I bothering with this? Right? And you could be like, oh, like, what did he accomplish to talk about this? Well, when it came to fitness, when it came to learning languages, even when it came to freaking learning N8N, right? AI automation, I'm still learning it. But if I had a fixed mindset, I wouldn't do anything about it. I literally have another YouTube channel creating content on it, right? Learning business stuff, that's a learning curve. That takes time, right? Building my neck, that takes time. Tracking my macros, all this shit takes time. This all comes from a growth mindset because I'm taking these actions in place. Right? If I had a fixed mindset, I wouldn't even bother doing any of this stuff. I'd probably just kick my feet up, watch sports all day and do nothing. And that's the thing. You can't think that way. I don't drink alcohol because I know that will slow me down. And I just think that a fixed mindset will seal you to mediocrity. It will seal you to be just like everyone else because everyone else has a fixed mind. Oh damn, there's a spider. That's why I keep looking that way. But everyone else has a fixed mindset. Everyone else puts a limit on themselves. They self-sabotage themselves. They may want to go for something, but then they face some minor discomfort or they face some fear and I want to kill that spider as soon as this video's over. Well, I lost my train of thought because of the spider. But then they decide to... Jesus Christ, alright. What was I talking about again? Okay, so, yes. They may decide to do something, but then they face a minor discomfort, and then they just give up. And and they may say, oh, I'm not really meant for this. It's not for everyone. And then, the dangerous part about this mindset is people will agree with you. People will be like, yeah, no, it's definitely, it's not for everyone. Sales is not for everyone. Working out, the gym, it's not really for everyone. Like, you're not genetically gifted like some people. Like, the thing is, your parents weren't genetically gifted athletes, so the chances of you aren't, like, that's the thing. That's what people will justify. They'll say stuff like that. and people will agree with you. So like, be very careful with it. It will sabotage you. It will keep you average, just like everyone else. You won't achieve anything. I promise you, you will not achieve anything if you don't address this fixed mindset. So just really focus on having some sort of growth mindset. And this is something that really resonated with me. I learned it when I was reading on The Millionaire Fastlane by Andrew DeMarco. It's a great book. I highly recommend you read it. But yeah, no, it's that type of book that, it's that type of thing that you need to like constantly drill into your head, like that you have a growth mindset. Everything takes time to grow. I freaking, you know how uncomfortable it was to shoot videos? And I've been shooting videos. I've shot over 40, 50 videos. Even before this, I shot 50 more videos that I didn't post. So I had practice to speak in front of the camera. When I first started, it was awkward as shit. I could have said, oh, it's not really meant for me. I'm not meant to start posting on YouTube and making content about it. But no, I didn't. I keep going. And I still have a long way to go. And I'm still going to progress little by little as I'm posting videos. I'm probably going to get better equipment, better sound quality, better cameras, better everything, better thumbnails. But you see, this types of stuff adds up little by little, right? And what I'm focusing on is giving you guys quality content by speaking to you guys, right? About stuff that I'm learning, stuff that comes up in my mind, stuff that came from my experiences. But if you're just next time, like really, when someone says, oh, you're not meant to, maybe you tried something hard, right? And they're like, oh, you're not meant, oh, it's all right, it's not meant for everyone. Just question it. You don't have to say anything to them, but just question it. Just be like, what do they mean by that? What do they mean by I'm not meant to do sales? Do they mean that that I suck at sales, I'm going to suck at it forever? Do they mean if I suck with women, I'm going to suck with them forever? What do they mean by that? Like, just question that. And the thing is, question it from authority figures too. That's another thing. Don't just blindly comply to authority figures. So when I say authority figures, I mean other guys in social media, maybe a mentor. I would, someone more successful than you, I would question that. Like, I would really question it, and I would leave it at that, because, yeah, I just want to leave it at that. Thank you guys so much. Shoot me a follow, and I'll keep making more videos like this. I hope you guys enjoy. Take care.